What's up, YouTube? Today I have a couple of small items that I recently acquired and a guest submission. But to start, I picked up these cardboard flips for the Mercury dimes. I figure if I can't sell the sets, at least I'll take out the key dates and then put those together in flips for later, and take the common ones and then just get rid of those as melt. Because if no one's going to buy this set, then I might as well break it up and get everything ready for sale. I can usually make more that way anyways. So, getting ready for that. This whole brick of 100 cardboard flips were $5 or $6 shipped. The flip has a mylar lining, so it is archival safe, and it's produced by Lighthouse, who makes a bunch of good stuff. So next up is a coin that I purchased off an auction. And remember I had mentioned cherry picking? Well, I was able to get this cheaper than getting the coin and grading it. And it happens to be a 2011 2-pound Britannia. This is the second one that I got, and if you remember, the other one I have is an original mint packaging. So I can probably sell that for about the same price or maybe a little bit more than I purchased this one. Next up is another guest submission, and this time it's from SilverHustlin13. He asked me if I could possibly take a look at some Britannias for him, and if they made the cut, send them in for grading. Now normally he likes PCGS, but when it comes to modern coins, NGC is the way to go. It also looks like he included a Mercury dime mint set as a gift, so I really appreciate it, SilverHustlin13. I will definitely add that to the collection. Now let's have a look at what we have here. And I will say that I do notice when people package their products nicely, because it means that they actually care about what they do. And with the way SH13 packaged this, you can tell it's not his first rodeo. He's definitely accustomed to selling and making people happy. Many sellers out there don't actually package their stuff adequately, but it does make a difference when shipping. Because if packaged correctly, it actually reduces the chance of the item getting lost or damaged, and helps it travel through the mail system smoothly. So if you can package it up nicely, the better it is, the more likely it'll reach its destination faster. Spending a little time on packaging, it saves you a bunch on insurance, so just keep that in mind. So back to the coins. SilverHustlin13 sent me 2 Britannias in Littleton holders to check out. He had mentioned that they were semi-key dates. This one's a 1999 and a 2000. From the outside they look good, but it's hard to tell because of the plastic cover. So we're gonna have to take them out and take a little closer look at them. If you follow my channel, you might have noticed that I've been picking up Britannias here and there, and it's always a pleasure when I get to see other Britannias, especially like these older ones, because I'm always curious about the condition, especially in Littleton holders. Because Littleton has a reputation for picking quality coins, albeit at a really high price. So if you can get Littleton stuff at a discount, usually you're doing well. But it's always hit or miss because it also depends on who bought the coins and how they kept them. So let's take a look and open these up and see how the coins are, because that's ultimately what they're here for. So I've taken the liberty of opening it up, and let's take a look. This is the 2000, and it looks to me like there are a couple of milk spots on the very bottom, which you can kind of see at the bottom. So this to me tells me it would need conservation. I'm looking at the rest of the coin, and it does have little traces of haze around. And on the queen side, there is some marks on her hair. So I'm trying to see if you can see that, but this coin would definitely need some conservation, and I'm not confident it would get a 69 at this point, because it does look like a rub and not necessarily just a haze. Now that I have a little bit more experience with grading, in this case I wouldn't recommend sending this coin in and spending the $28 to get it conserved and graded because it's just not worth it. In this case, the coin raw in a capsule is worth about the same as it would be graded. Alright, let's take a look at the 1999. And right off the bat, you can see there's a scratch on the cheek, which would just disqualify it from sending it in for grading. I'm just going to take a little bit closer look at the reverse, and the reverse actually looks really good, so it's a little disappointing that the obverse has the scratch, because when you look at it from here, it looks perfectly fine. Unfortunately, these coins don't make the cut and won't be sent in for grading with the Tiny Stacker submission. So these will end up going back to SilverHustlin13, and hopefully we'll try again in the future. So keep this in mind if you are thinking about grading coins. Try to be conservative and make sure that you have enough equity in the coin that you're submitting to make it worthwhile, because not all coins are worthwhile to send in. These are beautiful Britannias and they're quality pieces, so you don't really have to worry about authenticity, so grading isn't as important as with other coins. That's also another factor, whether or not I usually decide if I'm going to grade a coin or not. But it's mainly if it adds value. Here's a look at the 2003 and the 2000 Britannia, which also came from Littleton holders. So it all depends on who and how the previous owner took care of it over the years. On a side note about the UK Brexit saga, it looks as though the EU is going to play hardball, and they're going to make sure that the UK realizes that there are some benefits to being part of the EU. So it puts some pressure on the people who wanted to leave in the UK, who thought they might be able to get better trade deals, because it doesn't look like the leadership in the EU is going to allow that to happen. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a rocky road. The EU leadership, and specifically German Chancellor Angela Merkel, has made it quite clear that the UK leaving the EU will not be an exercise of cherry-picking EU laws. The UK already had beneficial deals with immigration, and then now without immigration, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the relationship. So what this means to me is more uncertainty and volatility in the markets, both precious metals and stock, all around the world. So hang on tight, and we'll see how long it lasts. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you think you're going to do and how long you're going to do it for.